my writing desk, will you? Thank you. And Guillermo, thank you. Bring me my writing chair. And Jeff, if you would, I'd love to have some writing music while I do this, because I'm writing a letter. I'm going right to the top. Nobody does anything. I feel like maybe other Republicans like having her around to make the rest of them seem normal. And by the way, if she's going to report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police. I'll go to the Justice League, okay? I'll keep my Jewish space laser set to gazpacho in case. And by the way, it wasn't just Marjorie who's all fired up. I got mean tweets from Diamond and Silk, which hurts because, you know, I'm a big fan.
It was only a matter of time before Marjorie Taylor Greene picked a fight with Jimmy Kimmel. She's brash, unfiltered, and never backs down from a headline. He's sarcastic, sharp, and lives for moments like this. But what started as a typical late-night roast spiraled into a political firestorm when Greene took things to a new level. She didn't just clap back on Twitter, she tried to get Kimmel arrested. Yes, you read that right. It all began with a joke. During his monologue, Kimmel made a passing jab at Greene after she tweeted something inflammatory about her political rivals. Standard stuff in DC, but full of conspiratorial flair. Kimmel, as always, turned it into comedy gold. "Where's Will Smith when you need him?" he joked, referencing the now infamous Oscars slap with a grin.
This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police. By the way, if she's going to report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police. I'll go to the Justice League, okay? Dear, I'm writing about a woman who might be a supervillain. Like the Joker, she thinks she is funny. And like the Penguin, she is 5 foot. Do you know what a vomit you have to be to get called out by Marjorie Taylor Greene?
The audience laughed. Social media laughed. But Greene, not so much. Within hours, the Georgia congresswoman had posted a screenshot of the segment with a caption that stunned even longtime critics. "This is a threat of violence against me. I've contacted Capitol Police and filed a report." She tagged Kimmel. She tagged the network. And in a matter of minutes, the story exploded. Conservatives rallied behind her, calling the joke dangerous, inciting, and violent rhetoric from Hollywood. Cable news picked it up. Far-right influencers ran with it, warning that unhinged late-night hosts were encouraging attacks on elected officials. And Greene's most loyal followers started tweeting about Hollywood elitists trying to silence patriots. But Kimmel? He didn't apologize. He fired back. The next night, he opened his show with a vengeance. "Well, well, well," he said, smirking at the camera. "Looks like I've made the Marjorie Taylor Greene enemies list. Not sure if I should be flattered or call an exorcist." The audience erupted. "She says I threatened her with violence," he continued, holding up a printed version of her tweet. "I made a Will Smith joke, and now I'm public enemy number 1.
I have the weirdest life, I really do. Once again, I find myself in the middle of a brouhaha as I appear to have run afoul of probably the worst woman in American politics, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination to the Supreme Court, which is lovely, a lovely thing to say. So I made a joke. I said, "Where is Will Smith when you need him?" What she does instead of working, she tweets. After she saw it, she tweeted, "ABC contacts my employer. This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police."
Folks, we've officially entered the upside down. Then came the savage part. Kimmel tore into Greene's past statements. Everything from her support of QAnon theories to her claims about Jewish space lasers. He played old clips of her harassing school shooting survivors, chasing down lawmakers in the Capitol, and screaming conspiracy theories into a bullhorn. Each time he'd pause and say, "But I'm the threat?" He wasn't just laughing at her, he was building a case. A case that Greene, not him, was the one spreading dangerous rhetoric. "She has called for the termination of the Constitution to reinstate Trump," Kimmel said. "She's promoted insane conspiracies that get people hurt. But now she wants to play the victim because I made a joke? Come on." The crowd roared with every line. But for Kimmel, this wasn't just comedy, it was principle. He framed Greene's actions as part of a broader attempt by extremist politicians to silence criticism by labeling it as violence. "It's not about being offended," he said. "It's about trying to shut people up. It's about power. And I'm not playing that game." Social media went into meltdown mode. MTG vs. Kimmel started trending. Celebrities, comedians, and even some politicians chimed in. Some defended Kimmel, citing First Amendment protections and the tradition of political satire. Others backed Green, saying threats, real or perceived, should be taken seriously, especially in today's volatile political climate. But most saw it for what it was, a culture war flashpoint dressed up as a police report. Behind the scenes, Kimmel's team received word that Capitol Police had, in fact, received Green's complaint. But law enforcement sources quickly downplayed the seriousness of it, stating there was no credible threat and that no further action would likely be taken. That didn't stop Green from doubling down, though. In follow-up interviews, she claimed Kimmel's joke was inciting violence against women, accused the media of hypocrisy, and even suggested he should be investigated for his role in political intimidation. Kimmel, of course, responded the only way he knows how, through comedy. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said during his next show, "I'm officially a threat to national security. Who knew telling jokes would land me on the terror watch list? Watch out, Al-Qaeda. I'm coming for your airtime." He then unveiled a new segment called Marjorie's Weekly Meltdown, where he played clips of Green's most unhinged rants from the week and offered deadpan commentary. But he also struck a more serious note. "I joke a lot," he admitted. "But let me be clear. What she's doing is dangerous. Not to me, I'm fine, but to democracy, to discourse, to the idea that we can criticize our leaders without being labeled criminals. That's what late-night comedy is for. That's what satire is." Legal experts weighed in as well. Most agreed that Kimmel's joke fell well within the bounds of protected speech. One even noted that Green's move reeked of political theater, designed more for headlines than actual law enforcement action. But the story had already taken on a life of its own. Far-right media outlets framed it as a case of liberal Hollywood finally being held accountable, while mainstream outlets debated whether the outrage was real or performative. As the headlines swirled, Green continued to feed the flames, posting new tweets, giving interviews, and accusing Kimmel of hiding behind jokes to mask hate. Kimmel, for his part, stayed unbothered and unfiltered. "I've been called worse," he said, usually by people with less Twitter followers. The tension eventually reached the halls of Congress. Some Democrats openly mocked Green's complaint, with one lawmaker joking, "If bad late-night jokes are now illegal, half this place would be in jail for their speeches." Others used the moment to highlight the GOP's double standards, pointing out how Green had downplayed threats against her political opponents while aggressively pursuing legal action over a punchline. As the dust settled, one thing became clear. This wasn't really about Jimmy Kimmel, or even about one joke. It was about the larger battle over free speech, satire, and the weaponization of outrage. Kimmel had poked the bear. The bear tried to call the cops, and the world watched as the circus unfolded in real time. In the end, no one was arrested, no lawsuits were filed, and Jimmy Kimmel walked back on stage the following week, smiling as ever. "Good news," he said, "I'm still here, still free, and still making jokes. Even if Marjorie Taylor Greene is somewhere clutching a police report and a stress ball." The audience cheered. The cameras rolled. And the war between late-night comedy and political extremism raged on.